And together we'll make sure everyone is in this country legally. So let's get out there and get them, recruits. Together we can make it happen.
Woo! Your Botox, Miss Noem? Oh yeah, fix me up, fix me up.
A few years ago, I had to put my puppy down by shooting it in the face. Because sometimes doing what's important means doing what's hard.
South Park just dropped a merciless takedown that completely humiliated Kristi Noem. Instead of showcasing leadership or efficiency at DHS, the episode highlighted how much her public persona is just flaunting her beauty, leaving real work in the dust. Now she's being turned into a walking caricature who's obsessed, rigid, and absurdly controlling, while the world watches her image get shredded in real time.
Welcome to the team, recruits. I'm Kristi Noem, head of Homeland Security.
ICE and Kristi Noem and South Park seems like such a sort of high-stakes feud.
Like I just said, guys, South Park just dropped a bombshell on Kristi Noem, and she didn't even see it coming. While she was too busy with her Botox appointments and carefully curated Instagram angles, the show went full-on nuclear. This wasn't your standard parody. This was a straight-up cultural airstrike. Every exaggerated facial twitch, every obsession with control, every ridiculous line about enforcement, South Park made her the cartoon embodiment of rigidity and vanity. And the timing couldn't have been any crueler.
Woo! Your Botox, Miss Noem? Oh yeah, fix me up, fix me up.
Because while Kristi Noem was busy maintaining her perfect hairline and unflinching public persona, Minneapolis was on fire. And not metaphorically. The city was still reeling from a recent ICE operation where a woman was shot and killed in her car. Officials called it defense. People watching the viral footage called it anything but. What played out was panic, fear, and chaos. And just a few weeks later, another clip went completely viral. A disabled woman with autism was dragged out of her car.
But, Mr. President, I thought Kristi Noem was the face of Homeland Security.
Yeah, she was. But her face freaks me out.
That's why this episode hit so hard. The show didn't bother with nuance. It didn't do policy debate or thoughtful criticism. It reflected reality in its most brutal and amplified form. Every shout, every over-the-top authority moment, every obsession with control mirrored the viral ICE clips people had already been seeing. The cartoon wasn't funny because it was silly. It was funny because it was too real.
Okay, South Park is taking no prisoners in its new season, and despite backlash from Trump administration officials, they are unfazed.
And Noem wasn't just criticized, she was reframed. South Park stripped away the armor of her office and turned her into a caricature obsessed with control.
All right, recruits, this is it. We're heading to a location that might be filled with illegals. Let's take these bad hombres down.
She became the embodiment of authoritarian absurdity, a woman who needed to dominate in order to feel powerful. It was a personal, psychological demolition, the kind of joke that sticks not because it's clever, but because it's undeniable. When authority is reduced to absurdity, it can't just argue its way out of it. It can't issue talking points. Laughter becomes the weapon, and everyone on the internet gets to aim. Let's talk about the dog scandal, okay? Yes, that is right, ladies and gentlemen, the one that Kristi Noem thought she had buried decades ago. South Park didn't just stumble on it by accident. No, this was precision satire at its darkest. The show dug up her past dog shooting controversy and weaponized it in a way that was brutal, hilarious, and also very unforgettable. we're not talking about a little jab. We're talking about nuclear level humiliation. The scene had her animated self standing before a group of recruits saying something so shocking that it left viewers laughing and also gasping. South Park took a story that was already haunting her career, and what did they do? They twisted it into a punchline so sharp that it could cut glass.
I think we can.
She's a monster.
She is
Right,
a monster.
Sure,
right.
we can.
Oh,
We can.
okay.
Yeah, she can.
Okay.
She's running a fucking horrible system.
And this wasn't random, this was a strategy. They knew exactly what they were doing. Timing, the tone, the exaggeration. Everything is just collaborated to maximize the humiliation, while also reflecting a larger truth about authority gone awry. When satire touches on something personal and real, it sticks. And that's why this moment exploded. People were watching a public figure stripped down to absurdity in a way that's impossible to ignore. Once a scandal becomes a joke, it doesn't die. It mutates and becomes part of the cultural DNA, resurfacing in GIFs, memes, and every timeline you scroll into.
Oh, this is bad. Okay.
And that's exactly what happened next. The internet turned Kristi Noem into something entirely new. Gone was the official, carefully curated persona. In its place now is a viral character.
And I think what you're seeing with this administration, sort of top to bottom, is the thing that they are having the hardest time facing criticism-wise is being laughed at.
And here's the thing, perception became reality. When everyone online sees you one way, it doesn't matter what your office says. Your PR team could send out 1,000 press releases, but the moment a cartoon as big as South Park defines your character, that cartoon is the new truth. Now, let's pull back the curtain just a little bit, okay? While the internet was having a field day, inside government offices, everything was full-blown panic.
It's so lazy to just constantly make fun of women for how they look. If they wanted to criticize my job, go ahead and do that, but clearly they can't. They just pick something petty like that.
Then came Kristi Noem's reaction, and oh boy, she did not handle it like a pro. Instead of laughing it off or even shrugging it off with a witty comment, she went sharp, defensive, and accusatory.
Remember, only detain the brown ones. If it's brown, it goes down.
Now guys, let's get back to Minneapolis, where the city was still on fire, and Kristi Noem is giving polished yet fake statements, and South Park knew exactly how to use that. When she tried to link the episode Satire to unrest and violence, it completely didn't land. Not even close. It sounded less like a defense and more like a deflection. You couldn't spin reality that was recorded in 4K, played on everyone's phone, and shared millions of times. The dragged from car incident, the footage of civilians terrified on the streets, these weren't abstractions, they were visual proof that federal agencies were losing credibility fast. And when you've already broken trust, nothing you say after that is going to repair it.
We're just here for questioning, cooperate, and nothing bad. Holy shit!
South Park didn't even try. The moment the episode aired, it wasn't competing with her statements. It was competing with reality itself. And guess what? Reality was winning. People didn't buy the narrative that she was selling. The cartoon didn't make Minneapolis dangerous. The city already was. But the episode highlighted the absurdity of authority trying to control the story while the streets, yes, the streets, the feeds, and the timelines were told a completely different tale. It was the perfect storm of timing, context, and brutal satire.
did a good job in there, soldier.
Okay, thank you, Captain.
And here's where the power shift gets interesting. South Park didn't need to respond to any of it. The show stayed silent, and that silence, that was the power move. While officials scrambled, fuming at being made ridiculous, the creators let the episode breathe. The more authority freaked out, the more the cartoon dominated the conversation. Furious adults in tailored suits versus 4 foul-mouthed Colorado kids in a cartoon show. It's a cultural slap that lands every single time.
I know it's tough doing what's hard, but we could use more men like you in the sequence on this track.
Whoa! What the?
Your Botox, Miss Noem?
But it wasn't just Kristi Noem they were targeting. This was bigger, way bigger. South Park was going after the whole Trump era enforcement culture. The obsession with optics, the authoritarian flair, the focus on intimidation rather than accountability. It all got torched. By showing one figure as ridiculous, they were actually showing a whole system in collapse. Institutions don't fear criticism. They fear becoming a joke. And that fear is exactly what makes ridicule the modern pressure point. One well-timed gag can collapse weeks of spin. South Park just delivered a warning shot. Step carefully or the internet will redefine you.
Say that ICE is out of control and that this war on immigrants has got to end!
Now guys, let's be honest, okay? Authoritarians don't fear protests. They kind of expect them. They fear fear itself. They want you trembling at every word, not giggling at a 4th grader yelling into a megaphone about your meltdown that you are experiencing. Laughter is kryptonite to authoritarianism. It strips away the armor. It exposes obsession. It reduces untouchable power to a cartoon caricature. Just as Trump, who spent years going after comedians because he instinctively knew this. And South Park, they don't just mock, they disarm. A dog scandal joke, a bizarre recruit scene, a memeable meltdown. It's all a masterclass in showing that power is only as strong as your ability to not look ridiculous.
Look, I'm really sorry about this. It's just, I got a monthly nut, you know? I gotta make my nut.
And guys, here's the clincher. South Park didn't invent Minneapolis tension. They didn't create ICE controversies. They didn't manufacture public outrage. All they actually did was amplify what was already visible to the public, turn it into a cultural lens, and let authorities' overreaction do the rest. Kristi Noem's humiliation wasn't caused by a cartoon. It was self-inflicted. She tried to control the joke. She responded emotionally. She framed it defensively, and the internet turned every moment into another layer of satire. Authority lost control the moment that it tried to assert control. That's the beauty of all of it. That's why South Park is a cultural scalpel. Cutting through the egos, cutting through the image, the pretense with surgical precision. So while the politics class scrambles, while corporations calculate every PR move, while social media explodes, South Park quietly sits back. It sits back and it smirks, and it just lets reality, satire, and timing do all of the work. Minneapolis, the internet, the scandals, they all collided in perfect chaos. And Kristi Noem, well, she became a cautionary tale in the age of memes and viral satire. Controlling your image is no longer about policies, appearances, or even statements. It's about surviving the cartoon 4th grader who just dropped a bomb on your credibility and then laughed while doing it.